Hello and welcome to the channel. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to tie a dry fly, and it is specifically designed for dry dropper, and it is the humpy hair. So in the vise I have a size 14 dry fly hook, and I'll be tying with a light brown 10-0 thread, and I'm going to start that a couple of mil behind the eye of the hook. Wind down and trim off the excess thread. And I'm going to put down a bed of thread to the rear of the hook shank, because this will help settle the deer hair. Right, now the deer hair is just from a standard commercial patch. You can use any type of deer hair that you want. It doesn't really matter because you don't need a lot. Just going to trim off some hair like so, and I'm going to put that in the stacker. Let me just get rid of this fluff and loose ends first. And put that in the stacker. Give it a couple of taps on your desk and hopefully it will come out fairly even. You can see a few loose pieces and an inverted piece there, but that will do. Now when you're tying this in, you want this double the length of your tie-in and a little more. So I'm just going to trim up the deer hair to give it an even finish, and I'm going to tie this in with a loose wrap and then a couple of tighter wraps like so. I'll trim that up in a moment and bind it down the hook shank. Now don't tie it in too tight because you will run the risk of cutting into the deer hair. And back to the front of the fly. Right, now I'm just going to trim up these pieces. It won't make a lot of difference because we will be covering that up. Right, and back down to the rear of the fly. Now for the body, I'm going to use some hare's mask. It's a fairly substantial body. Just pull those fibres out of the way. Add some more hair. Pull back the fibres, just tidy up. Right, now you want to pull these deer hair fibres over the top and try and keep them on the top if you can, and tie them in. Not too tight, you don't want to break through the fibres, and lift up the fibres to make them stand up. Try and bank up the thread here at the front. Right, now at this stage I'm going to add just a little more hair behind and in front. Just bind that down. Now I'm going to add some CDC. Now I've taken 3 CDC feathers and I've taken the points out so that I can pull the fibres forward, and that's what I'm going to tie in. Wrap underneath and trim up the stalks. Let's tidy up. Right, now I'm also going to add a sighter, and I'm going to use some Glow Bright. This is number 7. Just going to pull off a length. I'm going to fold that in half. And put that underneath the thread. And tie it down with a couple of wraps. Pull back the other piece and tie that down also. And tie off the fly. Let's trim up the sighter to whatever length you want. Now the use of the deer hair is really just to support the wing. Some of those are quite long, so I'm just going to trim those up with my nail. And I'm going to add just a little bit of UV to the head, just to give it a nice head. Like so. Set the glue, sorry, the varnish. I can see that there's a few fibres there, which we don't want. Just check that the eye is free. And just brush out the body and the thorax a little. And there you have the finished fly, the humpy hair. Now for dry dropper, this will float very well, and it will hold on to the surface for as long as you need. You shouldn't have to use too much floatant on this, but it's a great fly for that purpose. Do give it a go. Thanks very much for viewing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.